Welcome back. Well, it is a celebration. The BookMark is turning 27 years young, just like my birthday. 27, you know, it's like one and the same.
Like a day over 25, right?
Wonderful. It's my annual 29th. I just won't tell you which one. And you are, of course, invited to the party.
Absolutely.
Joining us now is Rona Brinlee. She is the owner of the BookMark in Neptune Beach. Good to see you.
It's good to see you, too. Everybody should come to the party, and there's always good books to be had.
Always good books. So let's start with the books, and then we'll get to the party in a second. The first one's very apropos because we're talking about it.
You teed me up just perfectly for this one. This is called the American Eclipse because I'm one of those geeks who's very excited about the eclipse.
You're going out of town. She's going into the line of totality.
I'm going into the path of totality. Sounds very zen, doesn't it?
It doesn't. I don't know. Or apocalypse. I don't know.
Yeah, there's going to be that going on too, I think. But this book is about an eclipse that took place in the 1800s, and people like Thomas Edison were chasing it, and it actually led to the creation of the National Weather Service, which should make Mike Pringley and all of you guys very happy because that's important. But it's about the history of the eclipse, but it's also about the effect that it had on the author and on people. I mean, people report that they literally like fall to their knees and cry. It's just this moment of incredible humanity where everybody feels as one, and you get this sense that people all over are experiencing the same thing that you are. And so there's this real unity and your smallness in the universe. You know, I remember as an anthropology student, they would talk about that's how you got to be made king, because the sky would go dark and you know, they could predict it, and they'd put their hands up and say, if you make me king, I'll bring back the sun. And they'd go, oh yeah, please bring back the sun. And they'd put their hands down, the sun would come up, and they'd go, yay, you're king. So
there you
it's
go.
a moment for power grab, you know.
Apparently back in the time that worked. So and the
here's
book
your
comes
glasses.
with glasses.
No, those are mine.
Okay, you got those in. Okay.
Those are mine, yeah, right.
Well, that's neat. That's a neat little, did you just have that sitting in the book in your store?
Well, they're smart, the publishing industry. They knew the eclipse was coming.
I was going to say, wow, what a coincidence.
They do time it. That's very smart. Sometimes they miss it, but this one they're right on.
Spot
on
on.
it. Yes,
and this will be there for the birthday party. What else
Absolutely be there. Well, this is one of my favorite authors, Fiona Davis. Her first book was The Dollhouse, and it's about the Barbizon Hotel for Women in New York in the 1950s. And this one is about another iconic building in New York, the Dakota, where John and Yoko Ono and John Lennon lived. And it's about when it was built at the end of the 1800s, and the architect and all the intrigue that went into it. And so there's, you know, the history of New York, there's an insane asylum, there's a murder, so it's somewhat of a mystery and a page turner. And while you're reading it, you get a little bit of the touch of what it was like to go to this part of New York and build this building out of nowhere in the middle of nowhere.
A little bit of history, but yet a good story at the same time.
A good story, absolutely,
okay, like
and an iconic kind of building. And this is a first novel, which I always think is fun because those are the ones that people put their heart and soul into because they're the hardest to get published. The Talented Ripkens is a group of black family who tried to start a Justice League. This is kind of like, you know, the Marvel Comics, but that doesn't work out so well. But they all have these superpowers. And so then they decide, well, maybe they can use these superpowers to rob banks because one of them can climb up a wall, you know, straight up.
So much for the good, let's go with the bad.
So much for the good, let's go with the bad. And then they decide that they need to use their mapping powers to find all the loot they've buried because the mob boss wants his money back. And guess where this all takes place? In Florida. Where else, you know?
Okay.
You can't make this stuff. This could happen in Florida.
You never know. You never know.
Ask Carl Hyacinth or Tim Dorsey. This could happen only in Florida.
And what is the name of this? The
Talented Ripkens.
Okay.
That's, you know, because the father could smell really well, so he was the first Ripken.
There you go. Okay. Well, there is another
Need a
good
sense
one.
of humor. This one I read for the title. Hum if you don't know the words. Isn't that a great title? I mean, it just...
Which I do with every song that practically comes on the radio because I don't know the words to anything, but I think I do, and I sound terrible. So
that's okay. It's just for you. Hum if you don't know the words. And this is set in the 1970s in South Africa, and it really raises questions of race. You've got a little white girl who's 9, whose parents have been killed in the Soweto uprising by Africans, and then you have an African woman whose daughter's missing because of the Soweto uprising, and they come together. So it's like the motherless daughter and the daughterless mother find each other, and they explore all the things they have in common as opposed to the things they have that are different. So it's kind of a nice...
All right, to make sure we get the rest in here and the birthday.
This is about a man, Arthur Less. You know, his name, you know, brings up all kinds of possibilities for puns. He's turning 50. He's an author. He's a has-been. His boyfriend is marrying somebody else, so he decides he's got to get out of town. He takes this great, you know, literary tour, and everything that possibly can go wrong goes wrong. So it's kind of funny.
Okay. And what is it called? Arthur Less?
It's just called Less.
Less.
That's his name, Arthur Less.
Arthur
I mean, that's like...
Yeah, they're setting yourself up for.
Yeah, that's a bad name if things aren't going well in your life. You want to be Arthur Moore, right?
That's right, exactly. If you could pick and choose. And then what else?
The Essex Serpent is Victorian England, and it's a widow and her son go to a small town where they think there's this massive serpent that's overtaking the town, and there's this terrific horror that's developing. And she's a naturalist, and she hooks up oddly with the local vicar, and the two of them want to fight this mythology from different sides. So it's a question of science and religion and a great mystery and a good story. And a cover to die for, right?
I was going to say, that's a very beautiful, not that you're supposed to judge a book by its cover, but that's
really,
that's a really,
sometimes you gotta.
Pretty cover.
Right.
Let's pick it up and read maybe the few first chapters.
I know.
Last but not least,
Surfing with Sartre. I thought this was a good, bookends for nonfiction. This is actually a guy with a Harvard degree who's an avid surfer, and he's going to explain Aristotle and questions of phenomenology and being and what it is to be human through surfing.
through surfing.
I know.
Is this in Florida too? I would assume this would take place in Florida.
No, but you can do it in Florida. I mean,
Sure.
we're right next to a surf shop. I
There
see
you
them
go.
go. They look very philosophical when they're
too.
coming back.
A lot of deep
Like,
thoughts waiting
they're
for those
pondering
waves.
Aristotle.
Yes,
Right?
there's a lot of, in the Lake Atlantic, there's a lot of waiting for the waves.
That's right.
and so
There's a
you
lot
can-
of waiting. You have time to think and ponder. So,
Exactly.
perfect.
Okay, birthday.
Birthday. The BookMark is turning 27. We're very excited, and we're going to have a party, and it's our opportunity to say thank you to everyone. We start at 9 in the morning with story time for little ones. We'll have coffee and breakfast. The food is being catered by Gregory Pauls, who's wonderful. So we'll have food all day, and obviously cake and Prosecco, and our publishers have been very generous. We'll have prizes, and I think there's enough prizes, pretty much everybody might win something.
Really? Yeah. Well, we'll be there. So you had me with Prosecco, then cake, prizes, story
Food,
time,
I know,
food,
everything.
and Molly, who used to work here,
That's right.
who works with you now.
All
who's a
good
peach.
people. It's a great day for good conversation, good food, and just
Well,
sweetness,
congratulations.
just
We
sweetness.
always love seeing local businesses thrive, and we're
Thank
happy
you.
that the BookMark
Thank
is doing
you.
so.
Happy birthday to us.
Good, happy birthday, just like me, 26.
That's right.
And
We're
we are,
older.
or somewhere around there. We are giving one lucky viewer a $25 gift certificate, gift card to shop with Rona. Just text the word BookMark to 25543 by 3 p.m. today. You must be 18 years or older to enter. One winner will be chosen at random. You must come here to the station, as always, to pick up your prize.